kids, it's time to learn with Miss Kaye. Today we are going to read the story of Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Seahorse by Eric Carle. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Mrs. Seahorse began to wiggle and twist, this way and that. This is Mr. Seahorse, and this is Mrs. Seahorse. Do you know how a seahorse looks like in real life? A seahorse looks like this. This is a seahorse. Seahorse. "It's time for me to lay my eggs," she said. "Can I help?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Oh yes, thank you," said Mrs. Seahorse, and she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. "I'll take good care of our eggs," said Mr. Seahorse. "I promise." Do you know where the eggs are? The eggs are in the belly of Mr. Seahorse now. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... What is this? A group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. So this is a patch of reeds. A patch of reeds. And this is a group of trumpet fish. Trumpet fish. This is a trumpet fish. Can you say it? Trumpet fish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Stickleback?" asked Mr. Seahorse. "Delighted," replied Mr. Stickleback. "I just built a nest and right away Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs into it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch." "Keep up the good work," said Mr. Seahorse and swam on his way. This is a stickleback. Stickleback. This is a stickleback. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... What is this? A lionfish hidden behind a coral reef. So this is a coral reef. And hiding behind a coral reef is lionfish. This is a coral reef. Coral reef. What type of fish is this? It's a lionfish. Lionfish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Tilapia?" asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. "Mrs. Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you are taking good care of them until they hatch." Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. "You must be very happy," said Mr. Seahorse and swam on his way. This is a tilapia. Tilapia. A tilapia is a type of fish. Tilapia. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by... What's this again? He passed right by several live fish hidden among the seaweed. So this is a seaweed. Seaweed. This is a seaweed. And this fish is live fish. We call this live fish. This is a live fish. Live fish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. "How are you, Mr. Curtis?" asked Mr. Seahorse. Perfectly fine, replied Mr. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis laid her eggs and I have stuck them on my head. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You are doing a good job, said Mr. Seahorse and swam on his way. This is a Curtis fish. Curtis fish. Curtis. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Do you know what this is? He passed right by a stonefish hidden behind a rock. This is a rock. The rock is so big. And this is a stonefish. Stonefish. This is a stonefish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Pipe? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Couldn't be better, replied Mr. Pipe. Mrs. Pipe laid her eggs along my belly. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You should feel proud of yourself, said Mr. Seahorse and swam on his way. This is a pipefish. Pipefish. What do you call this? A pipefish. This is how a pipefish looks like in real life. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Bullhead? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Tip-top, replied Mr. Bullhead. Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs and the eggs hatched. Now I am babysitting. You are doing a fine job, said Mr. Seahorse and swam on his way. Oh, look at the bullhead fish. This is a bullhead fish. Bullhead. So now the eggs are hatched and they turn into baby bullhead fish. Oh, look! Something exciting happened! The time had come for the seahorse babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted this way and that. At last, the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back into the pouch. Oh no, said Mr. Seahorse. I do love you, but now you are ready to be on your own. So the seahorse babies are now on their own. Good job, Mr. Seahorse. The end. And that's the story of Mr. Seahorse by Eric Carle. Oh, I think the author has something to say about the book. Let's read it. Dear friends, in most families, after the mother has laid the eggs and the father has fertilized them, the eggs are left on their own, but there are exceptions such as the seahorse, stickleback, tilapia, Curtis nursery fish, pipefish, bullhead catfish, and some others. Not only are the eggs cared for by a parent, but surprise! That parent is the father. This may sound strange, but it is the truth. And this is my story about them. I hope you enjoy my story. Hi kids! It's time to learn with Miss Kaye. Today we are going to read the story of Slowly, 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 said the Sloth by Eric Carle. Come on and join Miss Kaye. Slowly, 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 said the Sloth by Eric Carle. Slowly, 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 a sloth crawled along a branch of a tree. Do you know where the sloth is? The sloth is right there. And this is how a sloth looks like in real life. Sloth. Sloth. This is a sloth. Slowly, 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 the sloth ate a leaf. Oh, look at the sloth. He's eating a leaf. Yum, 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 yum. Slowly, 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 the sloth fell asleep. Shh! Keep quiet. The sloth is sleeping. Slowly, 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 the sloth woke up. All day long, the sloth hung upside down in the tree. All night long, the sloth hung upside down in the tree. Even when it rained, the sloth hung upside down in the tree. Why are you so slow? The howler monkey asked one day. But the sloth didn't answer. This is a howler monkey. A howler monkey. Let's see how a howler monkey looks like in real life. Howler monkey. This is a howler monkey. Why are you so quiet? The caveman asked. But the sloth didn't answer. This is a cayman. A cayman. Let's see how a cayman looks like in real life. Cayman. Cayman. A cayman looks like a crocodile or alligator. Why are you so boring? The anteater asked. But the sloth didn't answer. What animal is this? This is an anteater. Yes, this is an anteater. Let's see how an anteater looks like in real life. Oh, look at the anteater. It's called an anteater because it eats ants. Do you know where the ants are? Oh, look at the ants. They're right there. Hi, ants. Tell me, said the jaguar, why are you so lazy? The sloth thought and thought and thought for a long, long, long time. What animal is this? This is a jaguar. Jaguar. Let's see how a jaguar looks like in real life. Finally, the sloth replied, It is true that I am slow, quiet, and boring. I am lackadaisical. I dawdle and I dilly-dally. I am also unflappable, languid, stoic, impassive, sluggish, lethargic, placid, calm, mellow, laid back, and, well, slothful. I am relaxed and tranquil, and I like to live in peace. But I am not lazy. Then the sloth yawned. Hi, can you please yawn? Hi, and said, That's just how I am. I like to do things slowly, slowly, slowly. The end. And that's the story of Slowly, 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 said the sloth. Oh wait, did you know that there are so many fun things to know about the sloth? Let's read what the friend of the author has to say about the sloth. The sloth exists in the jungles of South America. There are two species, the three-toed and the two-toed. Three-toed means they have 3 toes, of course. And the two-toed means they have how many toes? 2. Sloth can turn their heads about 270 degrees. They can also hang from one leg and rotate their bodies in a manner most horrifying to observe through almost 360 degrees. Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. As humans, we cannot rotate our heads 360 degrees. That means to say we cannot fully turn our head. But sloths can do that. They spend their lives upside down, hanging from the branches. They feed mostly at dawn and dusk on shoots and blossoms, leaves and fruits. After feeding for a few hours, sloths move slowly from one branch to the next. Then they fall asleep. They sleep 15 to 19 hours out of 24 hours. That's a long time to sleep. They are hanging from a branch with their heads laid on their bellies. Can you touch your belly? That's great. They look just like a part of the tree because a kind of green algae grows in strange grooves on their long, coarse hairs so that they become the same greenish color as their forest world. All kinds of moths and beetles live in their fur. If the sloth are threatened or meaning they are scared, they defend themselves by striking out with their powerful arms and dagger-like claws. Sloths live in the same tree for days, sometimes even weeks. About once a week, when they're looking fat, they climb slowly down to the ground where they defecate or where they poop, and urinate or where they pee, and they carefully bury their waist and climb slowly back looking slim. When they do move to a new tree, they may have to swim across a river, but this is a surprise! They are surprisingly fast swimmers. Sloths are silent animals. Occasionally, they comment on life with a gentle sigh that sounds like "Ahi!" Oh, how fun is that? So those are the things to learn about sloth. Hi kids, it's time to learn with Miss Kaye. Today, let's read Pancakes, Pancakes by Eric Carle. Let's start. Pancakes, Pancakes by Eric Carle. Kikiriki, crowed the rooster. Jack woke up, looked out the window and thought, I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. So Jack wants to have what for breakfast? He wants to have a pancake. Do you like pancakes? Ooh, I like pancakes too. This is a pancake. A pancake. You can put different toppings on your pancake. You can put blueberries, strawberries, or whatever types of fruit you want. Jack's mother was already up and busy. Mother, said Jack, I'd like to have a big pancake for breakfast. I am busy and you will have to help me, she said. How can I help? Asked Jack. We'll need some flour, she replied. Take a sickle and cut as much wheat as the donkey can carry. Sickle, sickle. Then take it to the mill. The miller will grind it into flour. When Jack had cut enough wheat, he put it on the donkey's back and took it to the miller. Wheat, wheat. What animal is this? This is a donkey. This is a donkey. A donkey. Hi, donkey. "Can you grind this wheat for me?" he asked. "I need it for a big pancake. First, we must separate the grain from the chaff," said the miller. Grain, grain, grain. Chaff, chaff, chaff. He gave Jack a flail and spread the wheat onto the ground. The miller took another flail and began to beat the wheat with it. Threshing, threshing. The farmer is threshing the wheat. Jack helped with the threshing, and soon there was a big pile of straw and chaff and a small pile of grain. Straw, straw, straw. The miller poured the grain on a large flat stone. On top of it was a round millstone connected to the water wheel on the outside. Millstone, millstone, millstone. It is used to mill the flour. The water wheel turned round and round to grind the grain into flour. Water wheel, water wheel, water wheel. At last, the miller handed Jack a bag of flour. "This is a flour." "Here's the flour," shouted Jack. "Let's make a pancake." But his mother said, "Now we need an egg." Jack went to the black hen and fed her some grain that had slipped into his pocket while he had been threshing. Hen, hen. This is a hen. "Cluck, cluck," said the black hen and went inside the hen house. Hen house, hen house. This is a hen house. Then she said, "Cluck, cluck." One more and laid on. What is this? An egg. Eggs, eggs. "Here's an egg," shouted Jack. "Let's make a pancake." But his mother said, "Now we need some milk." Jack went to the spotted cow and began to milk her. Cow, cow. "Moo, moo," said the spotted cow as the milk squirted into the pail. Jack is getting milk from the what? From the cow. You're right. Milking, milking, milking the cow. "Here's the milk," shouted Jack. "Let's make a pancake." Milk, milk. But his mother said, "We need some butter." Jack got the butter churn and held it between his knees. His mother scooped the cream from the top of the milk and put it into the butter churn. Jack pushed the churn handle up, down, and down. Finally, the cream turned into butter. "Here's the butter," shouted Jack. "Let's make a pancake." Butter, butter, butter. But his mother said, "We need to build a fire." Jack went to the woodshed and brought some firewood. Firewood, firewood, firewood. "Here's the firewood," shouted Jack. "Let's make a pancake." But his mother said, "Wouldn't you like to have something sweet on your pancake?" So Jack went down to the cool cellar and pulled a jar of strawberry jam from one of the shelves. Strawberry jam. Look, there's so many jams here. Strawberry jam, strawberry jam, strawberry jam. "Here's the strawberry jam," shouted Jack. "Let's make a pancake." In the kitchen, Jack's mother had filled the table with the flour, the milk, the butter. There was also a mixing bowl. Mixing bowl, mixing bowl. A cup, cup, cup. A wooden spoon, wooden spoon, wooden spoon. A ladle, ladle, ladle. A frying pan, frying pan, frying pan. A plate, plate, plate. A knife, knife, knife. Fork, fork, fork. And spoon, spoon, spoon. And a jar of, what is this? Strawberry jam, strawberry jam, strawberry jam. And his mother said, put a cupful of flour into the bowl. Break an egg into the flour and stir. Pour a cupful of milk over the flour and eggs and stir again until the butter is smooth and without lumps. Jack's mother heated the frying pan over the fire and added a piece of, what is this? A piece of butter. The butter melted fast. Then she said to Jack, now pour a ladle full of batter into the hot pan. Cooking, cooking, cooking the pancake. Cooking. After a minute or two, she looked at the underside of the pancake. It was golden brown. Now watch, she said. I'll turn the pancake over. Ready? Ready, shouted Jack. Flip, said his mother. Up and over went the pancake high into the air and landed right in the pan. In another minute or two, the pancake was crisp on the underside as well. Flip, flip, flipping the pancake. Flip, flip. Then she slipped the pancake from the frying pan onto the plate and spread some strawberry jam on it. And now Jack, his mother started to say. But Jack said, "Oh, Mama, I know what to do now." What do you think Jack did? Jack ate the pancake. The end. And that's the story of Pancakes by Eric Carle. Hi kids, it's time to learn with Miss Kaye. Today, let's read Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me by Eric Carle. Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me by Eric Carle. Before Monica went to bed, she looked out of her window and saw the moon. The moon looked so near. I wish I could play with the moon, thought Monica, and reached for it. This is a moon. Moon. These are stars. Monica is looking out of her what? Out of her, what is this? Window. Window. But no matter how much she stretched, she could not touch the moon. Papa, said Monica to her father, please get the moon for me. What do you think will Papa do? Let's see. Papa got a very long ladder. Ooh, can you see the ladder? Look at the ladder. It's so long. The ladder is so long. Look, kids. It's very long. He carried the very long ladder towards a very high mountain. This is a Mountain. Can you please say mountain? Mountain. And this is a ladder. Then Papa put the very long ladder on top of the very high mountain. The mountain is very high. Look, it's very high. Where is Papa? There is Papa. The mountain is very high. Up and up and up he climbed. Look, kids, what is this? This is the moon. Look at the moon. The moon is so big. Now let's see. Finally, Papa got the moon. My daughter Monica would like to play with you, said Papa, but you are much too big. Every night, I get a little smaller, said the moon. When I am just the right size, you can take me with you. The moon is so big. And indeed, the moon got smaller and smaller and smaller. Now let's watch and see how the moon gets smaller in size. That looks amazing! Now let's continue with our story. When the moon was just the right size, Papa took it. Down and down he climbed. See? This is the long ladder, and now Papa got the moon and is going down the mountain. Here, said Papa to Monica, I have the moon for you. Monica jumped and danced with the moon. She hugged the moon and threw it into the air. But the moon kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And finally, it disappeared altogether. Then one night, Monica saw a thin sliver of the moon reappear. Each night, the moon grew and grew and grew. Like this. And now the moon is back to its big size. The end. And that's the story of Papa, please get the moon for me. Now let's watch how the moon gets back to its original size. Wow, it's amazing! I hope that you enjoyed our story time today, kids.